Hello everyone, today is June 10th, it is Saturday 9:15 a.m. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Wars. Let's take a look at the markets. Well, Bitshares is going through the roof. I'm not surprised with that. Bitshares is basically the world's first decentralized exchange, which is huge. You hear about all these dangers in exchanges, all this FUD about the exchanges, this and that. Well, basically, Bitshares is the exchange that takes away all of that, and it's not only just the exchange, but it's also its own crypto in itself. It runs on graphene. Dan Lammer is just a genius when it comes between Steem and Bitshares. I mean, the guy to me is like the next Satoshi. He's up there with Vitalik and Satoshi. So. Just because of his innovation, his ability to innovate with crypto, not really do the same thing everyone else is doing. Graphene, micropayments are huge between those assets too. So it passed Dash in the coin market cap. I don't know if it's still above Dash. It just dropped below Dash, but it's right up there with Dash. It was in between Dash and Litecoin. Right now it's number 8 above Monero, and that's pretty impressive. I expect it to keep going up, but it's tricky to say how high. Also, I want to talk about how Tone Vays used to down talk Bitshares as this failed project. If you watch, an interview with him in the Dollar Vigilante, he talks about how Bitshares was this failed project and Steem's going to be a failure too, and Dan Lammer doesn't know what he's doing, this and that. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, I hate to talk negative about anyone, but I don't. But Tone Vays is extremely narrow-minded when it comes to cryptocurrency. He's type of know-it-all with no real evidence to back up, who he is. It's like, okay, you have your thoughts, but where's your credibility? And I know he's been in the space in a long time, but he has constantly been wrong, and clearly he was extremely wrong about Bitshares being a failed project. I mean, you couldn't be more wrong. It's actually it's actually the 8th most successful project in cryptocurrency. So, extremely ignorant thing to say. Yeah, I think there's a lot of these Bitcoin maximalists who are just in denial of their current situation. I'm all for Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. It's not like that. But at the same time, don't just follow the herd, just because Bitcoin's the biggest doesn't mean it's the best, I mean, look at Ether, are you still going to own Bitcoin if Bitcoin becomes an altcoin to Ether, which is a very big possibility, I think, in the next 10 years, just because so many big businesses are looking at Ethereum, okay? You got big business looking at Ether, okay? You do have big businesses looking at Bitcoin, but they need Ether. They need Ether to function with certain technology that is not compatible with Bitcoin. When it comes down to that, it's just, I mean, you just can't really compete, it's just innovation, it's technology, okay? Bitcoin was the new tech, Ether is the new tech, and it's going to continue to do that. I think, there's going to be, there's already been a lot of price swings. I think Steem is going to follow suit for when it comes to Bitshares. I think it's going to be up by Bitshares. For a long time, they were actually parallel with their market caps. I think that's going to kind of repeat. I think that they're kind of twins, I think a lot of investors, people that are dumping their money in Bitshares should be aware that it's by the same, Steem is the same creator. And also once new investors come into the space, and they see how well Bitshares is performing, and then the similarities between Steem and Bitshares, they're just going to come diving into Steem, and they're going to be excited about Steem, just because once one rises, usually the other follows, and they're very similar tech, obviously, yeah, I mean, and there's so many, I think there's a lot of things that could branch off of Steem as far as developers go, or Bitshares and, well, Steem too, but Bitshares too. I I think it leaves there's so many things that can come from Bitshares. I actually had a dream about Bitshares last night. It was really weird. It was really odd. It was a really odd dream. But this was while it was going up, so it makes sense that I had it. But maybe I've been drinking too much Ormus. But it was such an odd dream. I don't even know what it was about. It was just like, it was just talking about, I don't even know. It was really strange. I can't even describe it. It was so strange. But it was called, I don't even know. I can't even repeat it. It had to be there. So, I mean, not too much else to talk about. I just want to talk about Bitshares and, how it's the first decentralized exchange, how I think Steem is going to follow suit with Bitshares, how I think Towing Vase was completely wrong, and anyone who down-talked Steem or Bitshares was completely wrong. Anyone who's been down-talking altcoins has been completely wrong. If they sit there and they say that they're not wrong, they have not been wrong, and they don't, then they are in denial of the reality and the truth. The truth is that Bitcoin miners are making a lot of money off transaction fees. I'm not saying Bitcoin's not going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go to $10,000 by the end of the year, okay, or the next month. Who knows? But what I'm saying is there's a lot of room for the free market. It actually helps helps Bitcoin. It's good to have competition. It's healthy. Okay, that's a healthy marketplace. If there was only one cryptocurrency, it would be fixed. It wouldn't work. Okay, it just wouldn't work because once someone controls it, and that makes what happens is this is when people control a coin, or the coin becomes centralized like it has with Bitcoin, they need to make it decentralized again so that they can profit from it. Because if people in the community are upset with the leaders, they'll move into another coin, and then they're losing profit. So they always are constantly, they have to make the community happy in order to make profit. And that's why Steem is so cool too, because everyone can give their insight based on the amount of Steem they hold, Basically, the more Steem you own, the more Steem power you own, the more governance you hold in the community. I think a lot of investors like that. And, we're going to continue to see a lot of cool stuff happen in the space. Like I said, I'm using the market cap, coin market cap as my indicator. And once it hits 125, I'm a quarter out. Once it hits 150, I'm 50 out. Once it hits 175, I might actually be 10% out at 110. Just to play on the safe side, you got to protect yourself. I think crypto is extremely volatile in the upside and the downside, and it doesn't mean I'm ever going to abandon cryptocurrency. I mean, it's just a freedom thing, but, there's a lot to life, some more to life than just crypto. And, I think what's going to happen, too, is once the stocks dive, gold and silver is definitely going to be a great option. Most people look at gold and silver as just an alternative currency, but it's actually a form of medicine. So I think the elites really value gold and silver because it's medicine, On a side topic, they know that it has medical properties. If you think gold and silver gets its price tag from it being an alternative currency because so-and-so likes gold or so-and-so likes silver because it's shiny, you're sadly mistaken. The reason gold and silver even hold value, and platinum too, or palladium hold value, is because of their healing properties. And we all know the elites want to become immortal, so they want to have as much gold and silver as possible. So they're willing to fund the mines so they can have more gold and more silver in influx. And also they want the price of these precious metals to go through the roof, so that way the general public cannot afford them. Okay, that's another reason why gold and silver are going to soar, because they want them to soar. People talk about the derivatives and how the derivatives are cold, or the derivatives are controlled and this and that. So yeah, that's very true. But what they want to do is shake people out of the market. They want to keep it suppressed and make you think it's not going to go anywhere. And then while crypto's going up, it's messing with your brain, those who are in gold and silver. But if you're in gold and silver already, stay in gold and silver. Don't move into crypto, And if you're in crypto, I suggest once it starts to go up and up, start moving to gold and silver. Because most people think, well, crypto is going to, it's going to make gold and silver obsolete. That's not the case. Gold and silver is, because of its physical properties in the monatomic state, it is extremely undervalued right now. Okay, gold and silver actually has utility in society. I think that there's going to be gold microchips, or all technology is going to involve gold because of its in the future, it's going to involve gold because of its properties. Even I don't know. I said this. I think the first flying cars are going to have gold involved with their infrastructure, because gold in the monatomic state can actually make objects lighter than they are, which is amazing. Like, for example, monatomic gold, when it's placed in a jar, right? There were scientists that were trying to measure its mass and weight, and the jar actually became lighter. So they're like, how do we do this? Because the glass jar was actually becoming lighter. Like, it actually made the container lighter because it has zero gravity properties. So that's why gold's valuable. Don't think of gold as, it's going to be an alternate. Crypto is going to destroy gold and silver because of that. But gold is valuable because of its physical properties, not because it's an alternate currency. This goes back to ancient times. This is superior knowledge you're finding out right now from your host at Crypto Wars. So that's all I got to say. Stay vigilant, and remember, the love for money is the root of all evil. Peace.